Welcome, Cancer. I'm Kiki. We are now in the Akashic Records library, so let's see what books want to reach out to you for mid-August to September 2019. Okay. You are starting out as the Queen of Earth. Thoughtful, creative, warm, and sensible. You're unifying the King of Earth. How to show you're generous, professional, responsible, and practicality. King and Queen together. Interesting. See? Ace of Swords. King of Wands, another king. Wow. The Fool. Well, to have two kings, that was not a full move. Okay. So, let's see about this. As the Queen, your energies and efforts come from how you speak your mind. Your actions have always took not just your physical, when it is an opportunity to speak, it can hurt, but doesn't truth hurt? When a queen has to speak, it is going to be stern, but it's coming from a sincere place. It's like, which way would you want the truth to be told? Through the sword, where it's sharp? Through the scissors, where it's quick? Through the knife, where it pierces through your heart to get you to truly see? Or to the rope, where they had to, when they speak, it ties you down? But no matter what, as a queen, however you show or speak, it always manifests greatness and good things. Cancer, I'm in the Akashic Records library with you, and I can honestly agree with you. Sometimes when we speak, it does sound cold or it has shade to it. It sounds like it. But look at what it does, though. It makes, when we speak, or when you speak, Cancer, for those to submit, to surrender themselves, to be vulnerable. That's something about you that you did know. And if you didn't know, the character in this book is showing you that you are a queen. Even when this person is looking at you or seeing you for who you are strong, yet submissive. You are dominant. Your characteristics as a queen is you're very daring. But when you dare, you actually do what you dare. That's what makes you very attractive. So you're unifying the changes that made you understand what it took to be the King of Wands. To be a King of Wands, you had to not only show how you operate your kingdom, but the way you operate your kingdom. You unify both the feminine side of yourself, which is what you say, but how you show it also is tapping into your masculine energy, which is the King of Wands. It's how you do things. It's very motivational, inspirational. And no matter what, you speak with vision. So whatever you're unifying, it took you a lot of focus to see that you are a leader. And how do you know that you're a leader? Again, not only are you the King of Wands, where you know what you want and you know how to earn it, but you also have the experience of the King of Earth, showing that you are a professional, responsible, and practical. Wow, a successful time, confidently accepting opportunities you're offered, the Midas touch. In order for you to have gotten here and have arrived here, you had to see that as the Fool. A lot of people, when it's the character of the Fool, when we become the character of the Fool, we love being kings and queens, but how do a king and queen get there? They had to start moving forward. Now, when moving forward, a lot of people on the outside would look at it as, where are you going? Do you know where you're going? Why are you going there? You don't have to say nothing. You know that you are open to whatever comes your way. And most importantly, you know, as the Fool, as that person that moves forward, it doesn't matter what you have or do not have. It's how you move. You are protected by your ancestors, by Gaia, God, your guardian angels. You are a guardian angel. You are an angel. You are God and Gaia. You know this by listening to your gut instincts, by understanding it through your mind, which is a portal to the Creator, and your physical body. Again, you may not know exactly where you're going, but you know wherever it is, it's going to be better than where you have came from. And we can honestly see where your forward movement as a Fool ended you off. As the King again. The King, the Queen, and the King. So you double masculine and feminine. So you tapped into your earthly kingdom, which is how you're growing your kingdom. And you tapped into the King of Wands, which is how you work it with your passion, with your fire, with your purpose, with your plans, your principles. This is why, yes, sometimes truth hurts, but it heals too. That phrase they don't end off the sentence with. Yes, truth hurts, but it heals. For me, in this situation, when speaking the truth to a person I care about or sincerely care for, it did hurt. But also remember, what actions did you take to have to open your mouth to say the words that universally it would hurt to anyone? Yet at the same time, they would rather hear it from the person they love than experience it on the outside world. When moving or leaving, whatever the case may be, when having to speak to someone, to see the look on their face really hurt me as a person. But I knew if I didn't say the truth, then if they would have found out elsewhere, it would have felt like they were naked. I might appear like I was vulnerable and naked with them, but I was fully clothed. Meaning, yeah, I did say the truth, but I knew it was like I was safe when speaking it. The person that's hearing it may feel vulnerable at that time. So that's what hurts sometimes when we do speak the truth. We know that, yeah, we're safe in delivering it, but we're really not safe because we know, looking in that person's eyes, they were like a prey. They wasn't suspecting to be hurt at that moment, especially with someone that they love. But sometimes, usually is usually the case Do we get hurt by the people we don't know? No. Sometimes we get hurt, or sometimes the people that do tell us the truth are the ones that truly do love us, not the ones that don't. The ones that don't, they don't say nothing. They watch us become foolish. But at the same time, it's coming from a place of anger or a silent one. Either anger that's on the outside or a silent one. Yeah. When speaking, it does cause great sadness. But as the queen of air, queen of earth, queen of air, you know that speaking shows your independence, yet it shows that you're experienced in what you're saying. Yes, when a person hears it, it sounds realistic, maybe even rigid, but it also has a twist of wittiness. So, and from that, you step out, not only sacredly knowing or energy knowing that you are the king of earth and sacredly knowing the food to get you there, but you still end off as the king, but now the king of fire. See, you had that earlier with the king of wands. So you know the way to get there is to show maturity in all elements. Through your earthly, how you are honest and earnest, how you are in fire, the way you focus, but the way you favor people you face every day. The queen of air. Again, the way you speak, the way you appear is a queen. So not only do you speak, the way you sounds like a queen, but the way you even appear, your aura to people is of a queen. So let's see what's going on here. Okay. All right. So, is this in regards to, say, we read this book in another way? Is it in regards into two kings? One is the king of earth, and one is the king of fire. And I do see two queens. Queen of earth, queen of air. So, two ways can look at it. Either whoever's watching, you are starting to exude, you're becoming I feel you're becoming an empress. And an empress is all elements combined into one person. So, you knew you had to, you're showing that you are the queen of earth and that you do make time for those around you. Let's see. Yeah. You know what you want. What you want is to become the king of wands, which you do become at the end. How did you get there? You had to speak your mind. You had to speak what was in your heart. You had to speak what was also in your mind, your gut, and your heart. And not stop yourself from doing that. Sometimes when we stop ourselves, what was mentioned earlier is because when we are with that person we had to speak the truth to, or to say what's really on our minds, we don't want to hurt them or make them feel like they are a fool to connect with us. But when you connect with someone you do love, it's never foolish. It's like going through the stages with just another person. It's going to be ups and downs, smooth and slippery. But no matter what, at least you're with another person. So, it's unifying how you speak, it was felt earlier, to the way you say it. Knowing that you're not really alone when you're speaking this, but you know you can't lie either. Lying doesn't get us anywhere. At times when I was younger, I thought lying would soothe the situation because it's not going to hurt them. But then I eventually had to say the truth, which hurt more, because at the same time, it's like saying the person that we want to be with and say the truth to, we feel that they wouldn't think it is the truth. Or if they heard it as the truth, it's like seeing you or seeing me in a different light. To say the truth, that means you had to be seen from a different light. Maybe on the outside, you're used to unifying things. You're used to taking charge and being a leader, but spiritually, though. However, on the outside, it's actually to do the same thing. Tie who you are spiritually to your outside experiences. Again, we all have experienced saying the truth, whether we were younger, older, with somebody special, with our family, with our friends. No matter what, whenever we speak the truth, yeah, it does hurt, but it heals. It heals because it helps people to unify when it was a time when they had to speak the truth. Maybe that is it. Finding the witty way is having the person that you have to speak the truth, you know it's going to hurt them. Because when somebody spoke the truth to you, it hurts you. I know when someone told me the truth or how they really felt, it did hurt. But at the same time, I had to really look at it as, when it has been times when I had to tell the truth to someone I loved and it hurt them? What type of strength did they had to look within themselves to see that they're not foolish and they're the fool, meaning the fool is the dreamer. The dreamer gets things done. It takes the dream first to know exactly what to do. So you have the Midas touch right now. A successful time. Confidently accept opportunities you are offered. However you move or however you express yourself, it's going to come off as the king because you are the king. You are generous and practical, very responsible. So when speaking of things that can either stop a relationship, stagnate a relationship, or again, have this person see this character in a different light. No matter what, they're seeing the whole package of you, not just a piece of you. Yes, they have the opportunity to see you, but it's the opportunity to see all of you, not just the shadow, not just the part that satisfies them only, also the part that may not satisfy them. But again, in order for that person to know, or for you to know, because it's not just one way, we also got to deal with the reaction. Again, when I had to speak the truth to someone I love, of being with somebody else. Say it was being with somebody else. It's 3 people in this picture. The actions I did not take back in being with this person. So I knew when I had to say it to the person I do love, it was about how to approach it. Meaning, when speaking to either king, it hurt because the king of fire that I care for and still do, we're not together anymore. But when I had to speak to my king at that time, I had to speak of being with and seeing someone else in the manner that I would see them. It hurt, but at the same time, I had to actually tell them why. I had to tell this person why. Why is because even though the fire is and was there, that was not the only part that I was looking for. And as many times I would speak it and we were hurt, like any relationship, sometimes we're thinking when you say you're not satisfied, they're just thinking maybe it's temporary, maybe it's just a frequent feeling. But this was a feeling that I was feeling for very strongly for a long time. And I told them, if I don't get this type of affection that I'm giving to you back equally, that I would be in the arms with another king. And again, sometimes people think words are just words and that's it. But then what I end up doing was exactly what I said. End up going towards the king of earth. That made me feel the way I wanted to feel, and that I made that person feel the way he wanted to feel. But again, it was how we approached each other was in the shadows, and that's the part that saddened me. So yes, speaking to the person, to the king of fire that I love, hurt because I loved him. I loved him. Yet I had to say something that showed or made seem like as if I didn't love him. But I loved him in a way where it was and is love, but not a love where, again, it's hard to explain, where, you know how they say, I love you, but to be in love is different. That's how I felt with this person, and I'm quite sure that's how they felt with me. Again, years later, saying the same scene that I'm speaking to you, Cancer, about, the King of Fire actually did agree with me that what I was saying at first hurt. Yes, we got back together, but I had to show that he can trust me again. And that was the part that hurt it the most. How to rebuild the trust back when it was snatched, when it was spoken. The words that I was saying to him was not just words anymore. The words became pretty much vows that it looked like I'd broken. And again, in reality, I have. If I really did not get something from the King of Fire, I should have let the King of Fire go. To have the experience to be with the King of Earth on a more outward sunlight approach. But because the way I sought him out was in the shadows, why would I think that even when I got with the king, another king of earth, that the king that I really also connected to as well, because not like I did not connect to the king of fire. I connected to him and he connected to me equally. Where my heart really belonged, though, was with the king of earth. That's what deep down I did feel, but it hurt me to come to that conclusion, to be aware of it. So even when I did experience this king of earth in the shadows, it saddened me even more that I had experienced the love of my life in the shadows. So every time this person sees me, they would think I'm only loving them in the shadow, when I would love to love them in the sunlight and in the shadow. But again, my experience at that time showed me when you are sincere or speaking the truth, you have to make sure even your scenery is made for the truth. When I spoke this to the King of Fire, I had to tell him that I was in the shadows when I did this. It wasn't like he would have seen me with this person. So if I really was speaking the truth, I should have spoke this to him again before doing the act. But I didn't. So my experience, what I have learned as unifying, being the character with you, Cancer, is looking at everything that happened when we speak the truth and to see, did we really speak the truth or was it a snippet of that truth? I had to put everything together to see that when speaking the truth, you have to be open on every levels. Meaning if I really wanted to experience someone else, I should have let that person go that I did love to be with someone else that I'm interested in and love at the same time. Can you love more than one person? Yes. To be in love, that's something totally different. That was something that I felt would be foolish of me to speak of or to even go forward to. But now, no matter who I'm with, now I'm older. So this happened when I was in my 20s. But to experience that now, when I do have that opportunity, I know to be sincere. That's why as the queen of air, when showing the experience, it's like, yes, speaking the truth, yeah. When they say they can't handle the truth, they can't. But guess what? The person that's speaking it can't handle what they're saying also, because they would have to see their place in that scenario. My place in that scenario was even though I was right to do what I did, was to move on to someone else, I did not completely move on. Meaning I did not stop the relationship I was with to move on to someone else. And even if so, is that the healthy approach anyway? It wasn't. But in order for us to know that it was or wasn't, we still had to experience it. And as the Queen of Earth, seeing that our experiences is what makes our queendom. Our experiences as a person, every person that looks at you, Cancer, sees you as a queen. That everything that you do, everything that you are is like magic. It's, you make the things that you do feel like magic. That's the difference. That's why people are so magnetic to you. So they're attracted to more layers of yourself than you realize. So then, yes, when speaking, it may feel scary. Is it worth it though? Every minute. That's how we learn as people. It's by experiencing and by seeing and being shown. So yes, we're releasing. Cancer, you're releasing anything that may have caused you resentment, regret, remorse, where you feel like, oh, if I could only rewind the hands of time. I understand, Cancer. I feel the same way. If I could have rewinded the hands of time, would I have done the action differently? A part of me feels no. I would have did the same thing. Because the person that, it took two people to know besides myself that you can love more than one person and a person can love you. But how do you know when someone is in love with you? How do you know when you have an unconditional love relationship? Sometimes it takes us to be the fool. When I was younger, at that time to show who I was in love with, first I'm in love with myself, so I knew that part. But to be in love with somebody else, to show the in love that I was for or is for me to someone else, I felt foolish. Or felt like, what if the person that I wanted would see me as being foolish? I had to have other relationships in my life to see that's not the case. So what if I look like the fool or look like I'm being foolish? Someone is still there to be around me when I am that way, either way. Just like you, Cancer. Yes, 9 of fire. So don't give up on what you face and how you face it. You are the queen. And you have the king of fire within you. Even if you had to leave someone to just start anew, and it doesn't have to be with another person, just starting anew with you, you're not giving up on yourself. Because you see, it takes yourself first to even have any other relationship. To even get 2 kings, you had to be present. When they came to you, or when people come to you, they're coming to you as kings and queens. That's one thing that is a compliment to you. Yes, you are a queen of air, a queen of earth. But when men come to you, men come to you as a king. And that's maybe something very new in perspective. So yes, when you take that action, see that ace right here, that ace of fire, next time you will have the ace of fire. You will have the opportunity to not only speak what you want to say, but to face the very thing that maybe can feel scary, to be able to stand even when scared. It's just like a fight. When 9 years old, I know when I was 9 years old, fighting, that was my first time really fighting, was 9 years old. So when fighting, they say, oh, I'm going to meet you after school. I didn't know how to fight, so I wasn't prepared. I wasn't skilled. So yes, the person beat me up, but then I got beat up a couple of times. I believe, yeah, it was 9 times until I stopped wanting to get beat up and stopped wanting to get bullied. I said, no more bullying. I'm going to have to learn how to fight back and defend myself. There's nothing wrong with defending yourself. It's how we defend ourselves that shows the divineness in us, that king and queen within us. Because look at this, you come out again. You are the queen of air as well. Air's opposite or dual sign is fire. But we also need the earth to grow the very things that we want to become alive. To become alive, yes, we got to have the air, but we have to have an environment to breathe life into. So, a lot of times in the tarot, they say the Queen of Swords is a widow, a person that is cold or speaks like she always has shade. But in this, I don't see it like that. When I look at this queen, she has on the color purple, just like this one here. When we think of our evolution as a person, it takes our spiritual side. It takes that blue, the blue arteries that's in our bodies and that red blood to become purple. Blue and red becomes purple. What on our bodies is blue and red? Our arteries and our blood. So it took our blood, our very makeup of who we are, to know that how we say or speak things comes from a spiritual place. This queen is spiritual. She's also the color purple is for royal. When speaking to a person outside the Akashic Records, they had to remind me, two people actually, a man and a woman, two different ages too. The woman said that purple is another way of saying royalty. For example, Prince, the color purple, out of all the colors that Prince, the artist, could have, I mean, he's more than an artist, but as the position that we know this person as, he wore purple. Purple is a royalty color. Only kings, queens, emperors, empresses can wear that color. Or people that are from the spiritual life wear robes of purple. So again, to have both those energies in you, when you see things, you're seeing it not just from the stone coldness, which can be true. This queen, you as the queen, or this character as the queen, has been stabbed in the heart, not just once, but 9 other times. But then, did they throw the heart away? No, they kept it right there as not just a souvenir, but as a reminder that everybody bleeds, everybody gets hurt, everybody gets stung, everybody gets stabbed. I'm not trying to say stabbed like physically. I hope not. But even if a person did get stabbed, what did it take? What was the seen? What was the unseen? The unseen is seen just as well. The unseen is what the person did not say. But when they spoke it, you didn't hear it. You heard it. If she got hurt 10 times by the heart, what was to say that this man did not get 10 times hurt too? The man just know how to disguise it better than the woman does. So if we had to learn something from this book, what can it be? It's so many things we can learn. But one thing we do see here, outwardly, is that females, if you're thinking, or women that are queens, because now I can't say feminine, I can only say queen, my queen, or queen, because I'm a queen myself. A queen speaking to another queen. A queen speaking to a king, if you're hearing. When a female gets hurt, this is how it looks. Does that stop us from having another relationship or starting again with another relationship? It doesn't. Because just because we got hurt doesn't mean the next person is going to do the same thing. But that means you had queen. You had the strength to see that. That even though being hurt, you can still heal yourself, which is already powerful in itself. And then when being in a relationship with a man or a female, a friend, it doesn't matter, that you're not carrying this with you. Masculine, king, my king, or the king aspect, because I am a woman, but like I told the feminine, we're also tapping into our masculine energy. King, when we know when we face you, even though we don't see it, we know that you have the same heart that has been hurt and stabbed too. Yes, you're mature about how you love now, Yes, you mature in how you see love now. But how do we know that you're mature in those things if you do not say and show that? It's not just the speaking part, it's the showing as well. Even though this person, even though the queen heart has been broken, did it stop her from loving you, King? It didn't. King, when it came to showing your softer side, your feminine side, did it stop the feminine from messing with you? No, it made her want to surrender her heart to you and show you one of her heart that is pierced. If this is you, King, when you show the feminine side of yourself, when you show that softer side to yourself, you might have felt a little energy of, I don't know. And it might have felt like it can hurt you. But did it really hurt you? I can still see your heart. Compared to the feminine, you already see those needles in us. We only see one. But that doesn't mean that the other 9 is disappeared. Maybe the other 9 you had to heal, and it's one more that needs to be healed, masculine. Feminine, queen, king, maybe it's one aspect of yourself that needs to be spoken of and healed. Both king and queen needs to speak these things and say these things and show it. So you can have a complete heart that is new. That is new and still has that passion. So both king and queen can defend themselves, but defending themselves in a way where both of y'all can see. If the Akashic Records book resonate with you, like, share, and subscribe. It's a lot of things from this queen and king I will have to experience. So it's going to be a minute before we meet again in the Akashic Records. Very soon. I'm not going to be staying away for too long. 1 to 3 months. But whatever it takes, know that the things that I have been in here with you, Cancer, course watcher, viewer, it's the very things I had to take outside of my outside life, outside of the Akashic Records. The life that I'm living right now, the same life you're living at the same time with me, we're just apart. I had to actually do every book and see what it did heal. And it heals a lot. But I'm here to tell you I had to do every element, every book here. Each one is a book. I had to actually exude that and know it exists in me. So this is why I need a little bit more time to get more Akashic Records books. So you may see me in September, October, or maybe November. But when you subscribe, press the bell button. So when I'm coming back on, you'll be right there to get the first book ASAP. Because when I come back, just like you, when you come back in the Akashic Records library, we're going to be totally different people. And we'll be able to fill up more of the Akashic books together. Separately and together. We will see you on the other side.